What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Okay, you guys have asked me about this water tower situation. Was there a second shooter? We're going to talk about that today, and I'm going to show you guys the video clip that's on Twitter, and then I'm going to give you guys my opinion when it comes to this. Now, I've looked at over thousands of clips in my career. I'm retired now, but I was in law enforcement, and we did a lot of investigations where we're looking at footage all day. And so I do have some experience when it comes to looking at footage. And I want to take a look at this footage, and let me just show you first what we're looking at here. So this is what we're going to look at. This is the water tower here on the bottom right. This is the video. At the top left, this is a picture, okay, of the same water tower. I assume it's the same water tower. So when we're looking at this, the first thing that I want you to focus on is the image quality. Image quality is very, very poor. Okay, and that has a lot to do with what we think we're seeing and what we're actually seeing. So I also have a Google Earth version of this. So we'll be able to use Google Earth, and we can zoom in and out, and we can see what the tower looks like. Okay, so I'm going to play the clip first, and then we'll come back. So I'll play the clip in its entirety, and then we'll come back and I'm going to replay it, and we'll talk a little bit about what I see in this video clip. So let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
All right, so that was the clip. Now, they just played it again. That's why it hasn't played all the way through, but we'll just go ahead and start it from the beginning. But what I want you to notice is when you're looking at the clip, you see the movement. And I'm not playing, I'm just scrolling through it, but you see the movement of the camera. And when you see that camera moving, then you see everything else in the video moving as well, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, some people were asking, well, why is there that dark area of the water tower? Well, that can easily be explained if you're looking at the sun. The sun is casting a shadow on the right side over here. Or the sun is on the left side casting a shadow on that right side, okay? And you know that because if you look down lower on the water tower, you see more shade down there, okay? So that's the reason why you have that dark area there. Now, as I stated, when I'm scrolling through, you do see the movement, and you see it kind of going in and out, and that's because the image quality is very poor, the camera's moving, and you're seeing this pixelation, okay, because they're zoomed in on that area. And I know there's another version where it's not zoomed in as much, but it's the same thing. This is not good image quality coming from the camera at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it again, and you guys can judge for yourself. Now, this area here, and people were asking about this, so the middle of the water tower there, that is a logo, and we'll be able to see that better with the Google image. But let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, and then you can almost see, if you're looking at the logo and you move down to the right here, you can see there's another spot here. And that could be a tree from the tree line, or we don't know what that is, but it's pixelated. We don't really know what we're seeing, okay? We can't see a clear picture of it, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Now, this image up here is from the other angle. Okay, so it's from the back side. And you see that it does look like there's a little way that you can go from the area, that little catwalk, I guess you can call it, around the water tower. You can walk up, and you can't climb up to the very top there. So that you do have access to that. So now let me show you the Google Earth view. And this will explain a little bit more. It'll be a little bit easier to kind of understand what I was saying here. So this is the parking lot, and this is right here. This is the building. I believe it's this building, or it's right next to this building where the shooter was laying down and where he shot from. And then this area right here would be where former President Trump was speaking. Okay. Now, obviously, all this stuff isn't here. This is an older picture, but you had the bleachers and all of that stuff there at the time. Now, if we turn around, just spin around, there's the water tower. Okay. Now, when we zoom in the water tower, the first thing you're going to notice is at the top, it looks like there's some vents at the very top of the water tower. So it's not this same color blue. I think it has a little bit of blue on it, but at the very, very top, it doesn't have blue. And as I was stating, if you have sun shining on one side, then it's going to cast that shadow on that right side, okay? And then you see you do have this walkway where you can walk all the way around. So that's there. Now, one of the things that the questions that I have a lot of questions about this whole situation. And I will be doing a live stream as well. So make sure you guys tune in. Live stream on Monday. There will be a hearing, and it will be public. And so the director of the Secret Service will be talking about this incident and hopefully giving us some more information. And, of course, you're going to have lawmakers that they're very, very upset about this whole situation. They already chased down the director of the Secret Service at the RNC, and she didn't really have anything to say to them as far as, they were very upset. So just expect for there to be a lot of fireworks at this hearing. But we will cover it. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, and you'll get that notification for the live stream. Okay, so one of the things that is very, I don't understand this. You had a situation where Secret Service said they had limited, they didn't have as many bodies as they wanted. They didn't have as many people as they wanted to cover this event. And so they had law enforcement other law enforcement agencies nearby that were helping out. Also, you had HSI, so you had the Homeland Security investigators that were also helping out. And so one of the questions that I had, when you're looking at this area, the highest point in this area is the water tower. So why not have counter snipers on this water tower? Not to mention they have a 360-degree view of the area. There's not a better place to actually have counter snipers than that water tower. They can see everything. So that was interesting to me why they wouldn't put someone, instead of having them in buildings or having them on top of some of these buildings, which they didn't have them on top of any of these buildings. They were off in this area here, these buildings. Why not have counter snipers up here? And you could have had local police have the counter snipers up there. They would have had a bird's eye view. They would have been able to see everything from that angle. Now, one thing that needs to be mentioned when it comes to crossfire, that could be one of the situations that they were thinking about. But as long as you know that you have counter snipers up there, that shouldn't be an issue. That would be an area that you don't point your weapons in that area. But what I'm saying is, let's say you have the water tower here, and then you have counter snipers on this area here. You don't want them shooting each other, obviously. But if they know where you are, then that shouldn't be a problem, right? So very, very interesting that wasn't, we didn't see that. We didn't see someone there, or a pole cam. They could throw a camera up there so they can see down and see everything, so you don't necessarily have to have a physical body there, and then they could control that camera at the command post and zoom in, zoom out, do all that good stuff. They could have, there's just so much they could have done. And then as far as drones, they could have used drones. We're hearing, and I'm going to do some more research on this, but we're hearing that the shooter actually had a drone that he was flying over. I don't know if it was the day of the event or maybe, a few days before the event or something. I don't know. Like I said, I'll do a little bit more research on that. But just looking at this situation, it's just my opinion. I don't think that was anyone on top of the water tower, okay, the second shooter. I don't think there was a second shooter on the water tower. And then another thing we have to think about is, where did they go? Okay, so let's say they were on the water tower. I heard someone saying that they had a zip line and they were zip lining off. I don't know. I don't know how they would have. Well, I can't say I don't know, because there's some stuff that we're finding out where, I mean, you have a shooter on a roof and law enforcement didn't see him. So there's a possibility that they could have had a zip line there and they, whisked away and got in a vehicle and took off. One thing that I do know, I'm almost 100% sure happened, as soon as the incident happened, you set up a perimeter, a wide perimeter, far outside of the main perimeter that they had. And so I'm sure that happened. And so they would have stopped any vehicles leaving and stuff like that. Now, if someone's on foot, they might have been able to get away. But definitely, we know that a lot of the people that attended the rally, they had to stay there for a very long time because they weren't letting anyone leave, because they wanted to question people. They wanted to make sure that everything was secure and make sure that they had the shooter and there was no one else involved and all of that. So, yeah, just looking at this, like I said, I don't think that was a second shooter, okay? I know some people are saying, oh, no, there was another shot, and we'll find out more information, okay? And hopefully that information will answer some of the questions that we all have. But when it comes to this, I think it was just poor video quality, pixelation, and you're looking at a camera that's actually moving around. And all of that together is going to make things look like they're moving when they're not actually moving. And so that's my opinion on that. But I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. And I also want to say I will be following this story. So if they have hearings, because I'm sure this is not going to be the only hearing. You're going to have more than one hearing. And so the House wants to have their hearing. The Senate's going to want to have their hearing. And so everyone's going to want to talk about this situation. So I will be doing other live streams as well. So that's all I have. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.